Good afternoon, Princess. As planned, I am back at Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay for another day of the Mardi Gras Festival. I still have, I had 7 punches, I only have 5 left. Yes, and it is noon and lunchtime. I think I'll be able to use them all. Well, I will use them all. I will be able to try, I think, all of the things that I want. I think I'll have to skip one of the beignets or something, but that's fine. And I don't like bananas Foster. Anyway, it was a rather uneventful drive over, and the day so far is going to plan, work in the morning, then work out, then the food festival. So I already started with, well, I don't know, something that I hope is good. This is a shrimp po' boy, and I have had many po' boys in my many years, and it's quite a delicious treat. So hopefully this will stand up to the rest. Perhaps not like the best one I ever had, which is so much better than every other one. Nothing wrong with what's here, but it was so amazing in New Orleans many years ago. Tell you about that some other time. And it does come with a, what is this? A Zappos Voodoo. I presume that's going to be spicy. And to wash it down, I did get the smoked Bloody Mary. This is the beverage they had at the cart that was selling the po' boys. Not a huge Bloody Mary fan, unless it's tricked out with all sorts of weird stuff. But it's what they had, so it's what I'll try. I know, sacrifices. And I'm going to try to do this as one-handed as possible. That way, I only have to cope with one set of fingers being dirty. I know. Okay, let's start with the Bloody Mary, just because, like I said, it's a risk. All right, I can cope with it. It is basically adult tomato soup, though the spice on the rim does give it something very extra, which I am liking a lot. Well, this is a Zappos chip. Let's see. Ooh. Those are good. Remind me a lot of, not graters, but, oh, darn. It's a box of chips that you get that are very popular in Ohio. Graters is the ice cream. These are, wait a minute. Oh, I think those chips are Grippos. I'll look it up and let you know. So Grippos, Zappos, it's a weird trend. All right, let's take a bite of this po' boy and try not to get it all over me. Yeah, that's really good. This might be a dish to go for twice, since I have all those punches. We'll see. Let's put this on the list. Ooh, is it better than the brisket? That's a good question. Ooh, maybe I'll get the brisket again, just to compare. Who says squirrels can't get into the Mardi Gras spirit? Enjoying that beignet, little buddy? Just finished a good set by Porch Dogs. It's the band that's playing over in the little theater today, and sitting there enjoying what is about to be, was a smoked bourbon peach sour. Really good. Great afternoon beverage for, I guess, watching a show. And gonna try and ride the train this time. We'll see. I don't know if the park is more or less crowded, but we'll find out. I think I'm gonna eat first because I'm gonna run out of time. In fact, that might be my biggest problem. I thought today was gonna be just a bunch of food reviews and maybe walking around the park, but a site reminded me of another bit of silliness that, I don't know, I can talk about today, which is particularly appropriate because I am at essentially a food festival, and that's this whole thing about food waste. Ay. So this is one of those things that I'm sure is going to come up at some point in school, and it's going to be this huge tragic issue that everyone's gonna get like super involved in because, oh my god, you just discovered it, and no, we've been hearing about this for literally ever, and it's kind of stupid. Well, okay, it's not that it's stupid, it's just that it's hard to tell whether the people that keep bringing this up are stupid or are lying. And since they're both lefties, I mean, maybe it doesn't really matter. But the thing is, you will notice, pay very close attention to the people that rant about this, and they never propose any solutions, and they never really dig into the reasons why this might be the case. Because if they did it, it would upset their very delicate little narrative. You see, I have had, on a couple of occasions, a reason to look into this, and honestly, they just need to let it go because, like I said, whenever they carry on about this, they just sound silly. I know I said I was going to ride the train, but I realized it is 3 o'clock and I need to eat. Not that I need to eat because I'm hungry, but I need to eat now because I need to eat now so I can eat later right before the park closes so I can use all of my punches. It makes sense to me. And what I got was, well, this. A French Quarter Salted Caramel Thrill Shake. There's bourbon in there, I think. Well, actually, there has to be because they asked for my ID when I ordered it, so it's gonna, I guess, be an extra treat in this shake. And this is just a jambalaya. Well, I guess I shouldn't say just a jambalaya. I haven't tried it yet, so let's hope it's an amazing jambalaya. I had the other two items from this kiosk, and the Impossible Jambalaya was pretty good, and so was the shrimp and grits, so that bodes well for this one. So let me get started on this, and I'll tell you a little bit about it. I think I'm gonna have to eat this in 2 phases. Gotta get the donut off because it's kind of difficult to get the shake out of there with the donut. So some jambalaya, chance for the donut, that should work. An awful lot of detail, which I don't really think anybody would need to know unless they order the same combination. The jambalaya is really good, but nothing special. But in an Anton Ego kind of way. It's very familiar, and it tastes like a jambalaya that, honestly, I probably would make myself, or maybe have had at home, and because of that familiarity, I'm really enjoying it. It's like they didn't try to stray too far and make it super fancy. It's just very nice and comforting, and okay, that's something I would like. I do like it better than the Impossible Jambalaya because it is real food, but definitely if you don't like to eat real food, then the Impossible Jambalaya is still really good. But yeah, liking this so far, and looking forward to actually finishing the shake because that's tasting pretty good too. Verdicts. The shake with the very long name, very, very delicious. An adult shake, so yes, would definitely order that again. And the jambalaya, you know, that's going to be in position 2 or 3, I think. Not really sure which. It's competing against that shrimp po' boy and the brisket. Doesn't matter. It's somewhere up there. So yeah, that was really good. Okay, I am gonna go and see if I can ride the train now. I think the park looks a little less crowded than last time, so hopefully the wait won't be too long. But the thing is with this whole food waste is you gotta listen to the details that they don't offer, and maybe poke around and figure out what exactly is going on, because they'll quote some outrageous statistic on how much food is wasted, and it's honestly anywhere from 20 to like 40%. But, well, what exactly does that mean? Where is this food being wasted? Because it's not consistently wasted everywhere. So the thing that reminded me of this morning was like a video about farm waste, and they were basically complaining that like some outrageous amount of the crop that they harvest is cut and trimmed in the manufacturing process and then, wait for it, replowed back into the field. Okay, that is not waste. Okay, that is reusing basically an agricultural byproduct to make healthier farmlands and crops. And this is something that's done across the farming industry. It's not unusual to not replant, but to use, the waste product from farming to enhance the fields. So if they had done even a teeny weeny little bit of research into agriculture, this would have been pretty obvious. So this whole presentation ended up being just kind of dumb and weird. And, if you don't know these things, it's going to fool people. But see, now you know, so they're not going to fool you. And this actually, extends into another thing that they'll show, and that's, they'll go to a farm and they'll show like a pile of waste. And I've seen this before. But one thing they never touch on is, well, how much was actually produced and shipped? Right? So if you have this like large farm that produces tomatoes, doesn't matter, and they're done with the harvest, and several truckloads of tomatoes were shipped from the farm, but then there's this little pile of waste tomatoes that maybe don't look the best. Okay, it's a teeny little bit compared to what was harvested, and guess what? They're going to replow those back into the field. So that food is not wasted, okay? It is reused as part of normal farming techniques. But there's actually more, and I know more that's even relevant to kind of where I am. Oh, look at this. This is just terrible. Joe Biden's economy is so bad, even the squirrels have to pick through the garbage. It is almost showtime on the stage again, so it is time to enjoy a strawberry lager. Okay. They also have a raspberry, but can't remember having a strawberry lager. I've had raspberry before, and there's a purple one over at Epcot I want to try very soon. It's it's a good IPA. The strawberry is very mild, so take that for whatever it's worth. Seems I read the schedule wrong. That is the band that is playing now. The other band will be here in about an hour, but that's okay, because the reason this whole wasting food thing is kind of not really important to me, but it's something that I see, or don't see actually, is because there is a completely different perspective, and that's in like large scale, facilities. We're talking large hotels, theme parks, cruise ships, places like this, where the actual food waste is approaching zero. And that's because they don't want to waste food. They don't want to waste food because wasting food costs money. And as good, free economic participants, capitalists, they don't want to do that. So they try very hard to only make the amount of food that they think they're going to serve, but leave guests with options. And yes, they do have extras to deal with, and there's shows about this too, which makes it even more stupid. What they do is they capture all this, reprocess it, and they feed it to something else. So it's not wasted food. It's just that people aren't eating it. So on a cruise ship, the excess food is processed, it's ground up, and then it is put overboard where all sorts of marine organisms eat it. It's perfectly safe. They enjoy the free meal. There's nothing wrong with that. At large hotels, they'll gather all the food, process it, and then it becomes animal feed after being cooked down and having other things done to it. And at the theme parks, like Disney actually had a recovery program where they generated energy from things like this. Anyway, so in those industrial settings, there is almost no waste because that would just be dumb and stupid. After another enjoyable mini concert, I decided to get what may be the last food, because that means I have one. Well, it doesn't mean I have one. Yeah, it does mean I have one punch left. So I think cupcakes, the king cake, I think is the last thing I probably would get. But I decided it is dinner time about 5:30, even though the sun is still out. It's actually setting over that way. And I decided to go back to the original booth and get a different version. So I got the chicken po' boy. It does have a different sauce than the shrimp. The shrimp is you know what? It's, well, you're probably seeing it right now because there you go. But they have two different remoulades, and I wanted to try both. Although the claw is the same. No, the coleslaw is the same. And to go with it, just a mini sampler rum hurricane, or hurricane, depending on where you're from. Again, got to do this one-handed, so I don't have to deal with the ugh. But I found something the other day which I didn't think would be back so soon, given all the nonsense, but it is these are can you see it? They're just little CVS sanitizing hand wipes. Okay, I'm gonna get reported for something here. And the best thing about these is they are, well, they're individually wrapped, which is awesome, so I can carry a bunch of them with me, but they are alcohol based, and that means that they evaporate very, very quickly. I don't like wet ones, even the individual wet one pouches, because they leave this weird residue on my hands, and that's also bothers me. Yeah, I'm like that, so whatever. But these were very common before, but they kind of disappeared for a while, but now they're back. So best food festival invention ever, because yeah, especially with sandwiches, super, super easy to clean, and none of this, ugh. All right, it's probably gonna get cold because she made it fresh, so let's dig into this chicken po' boy. And yes, these are Zappos, New Orleans kettle style. The other ones I was talking about are in fact Grippos from Cincinnati. No, Bird, you are not getting any of my po' boy. There you go, move along. Nothing to eat here. Uh-oh, he's back. Yes, really liking the chicken po' boy. It's actually on par with the shrimp. They're different, but equal. And I think they're both gonna hit the same place on the list. So I guess that would be 2/3 for both of them. I think the brisket is still number one. I hope that's what I said earlier, because that's what I'm thinking right now. So brisket, then the po' boys, then the crawfish etouffee on the biscuit. I really like that, but I haven't tried the, I'm not gonna call it a rum runner, I haven't tried the hurricane yet, so let's give that a try. Oh, wait a minute. I just got a comment about slurping, so I think this is what they were talking about. Was it? I don't really know, because I didn't watch the video to see. Anyway, okay, it's a hurricane. I mean, it's you can make different hurricanes, but don't know that I would ever really detect the difference. So, all right, it's a good hurricane. The hurricane and the chicken po' boy, great combination. Thoroughly enjoyed both. I am definitely not contributing to food waste today. So, on that, again, you'll probably hear a lot about supermarkets, which is kind of where a lot of them tend to fixate, because they're everywhere and easy to access. And I remember a few years ago, there was a time when, for whatever reason, Los Angeles was subject to this nonsense, and there were reporters that would go to the garbage bins at supermarkets, and they would like count the number of like prepackaged meals that were in there, and honestly it wasn't that much, given, you know, it's a supermarket in a large city. And again, what they never really talked about or bothered to investigate was how much does this actually represent, right? So there's like 10 prepackaged meals. Is that 1%, 5%, 20% of their sales volume for the day? And, you know, what's the scale on this? Is that really a lot? Well, it turns out, I will give some credit to the activists in the region for, shockingly, doing something not crazy. They went to petition the county and state to change the rules on donating this leftover food to, like, food banks. Because, of course, the government had already made it illegal, against code or whatever, so that's why they threw it away. Well, they did. The supermarkets, sensing a tremendous PR opportunity, were all on board. And, okay, here's all the leftover food. And the food banks promptly said, no thank you. Now, it was a little more complicated than that, because the issue was things like, well, actually, delivery, logistics, staging it, like where to store it, and it turned out to be a lot more complicated than some of these places could handle. A lot of the food banks, they are charities, and they don't have tremendous budgets for implementing complex logistical systems. So the whole thing turned out to be a little bit more than they could deal with. And I understand that, having worked in logistics. Yeah, it's a complicated thing. Like, do they get delivered every day? Does somebody pick it up? Where is it stored? Does the supermarket store it? Does the supermarket have to have somebody waiting for it to be picked up at the end of the day? It's a lot more than I think a lot of these people would be willing to invest. Probably because now that they're faced with this opportunity, they're able to say it's not really that much. So it wasn't worth it even for the charities, believe it or not. Now, like I said, they were able to change the rules and try it and learn that it's not worth it. But ultimately, again, these reporters in this case are carrying on about something that they didn't bother to research, and ended up getting an outcome that they never would have predicted, because I don't know, I guess they just never could foresee how it would end up like that, not working the way they thought it should. I think I'll just finish up now because the sun's going down, it's getting cold, and probably maybe one more walk around the park and then head back to my place, because did I say it was getting cold? It is getting cold. The most important thing is none of the people involved in this wanted to waste the food. It's not like the people at the supermarkets or at the theme parks sit around just saying, make all this food and we'll just throw it away, we don't care. That's crazy, and that's not how things work. In the free economy, in the capitalist economy, well, we hate waste because it wastes effort. And it's not money, it wastes effort or work. And if you don't have to do that, why would you do that? That's why a lot of places, they try to only make the amount of food that's necessary while still, meeting their guests or customers' experience. And when possible, even if there is left over, they try to do something with it that is at least worthwhile. Maybe they can sell it, as in the case of theme parks and hotels and things like that. Or in terms of the cruise lines, they feed the environment, right? The fish get free food. I'm totally okay with that. So this whole notion that we're just wantonly wasting food because nobody cares is stupid. That's all it is. And when you hear about this, think about like some of the things I said and look into it, and you'll find that there's reasons for all of this. And the situation really isn't maybe what the activists or the reporters try and make it seem. And it's not just with this, it's with a lot of other things. So when you hear about these, oh my God situations, there's probably a little bit more to the story than they're telling you. And it's either because they're not interested, they're not smart enough to look into it, or they're pushing their agenda, and the reality wouldn't be very convenient to that. And this is probably the most appropriate lesson I've come up with talking about food waste at a food festival. Am I getting good at this? I don't know. Okay, I am going to do another walk around the park. I'm overstepped, but I do want to try and hit 10,000, which shouldn't be a problem, doing one more loop, and then probably just pick up the cupcakes and head out. The park is open till 8 tonight, not 6, so didn't really have to rush it earlier, but it's okay. I'm almost done, and it was fine. I'll be nice and satiated by the time I get back to my place and ready for a nice slumber, because tomorrow there's 2 more food festivals starting. Yes, oh gosh. SeaWorld is starting their 7 Seas Food Festival, and Universal is starting their Mardi Gras Festival, and the Epcot Festival of the Arts is still going on. So I've got to be prepared to eat a whole lot and not waste any of it. The park is open until 9 tonight. Did I say 8 earlier? And it's pretty empty, which would have been a great day for rides like yesterday.
at SeaWorld. So in that respect, too bad there was a food festival going on. Maybe week after next, come back during the week, catch it like this, and ride the last 2 rides that I didn't. I think Scorpion and the Wild Mouth. I forget what it's called. All right, just gonna do a walk around the park and get my cupcakes. Yes, I know. Shut up about the walk to the car. Wow, Princess, what a super delicious day at Busch Gardens for their Mardi Gras festival. I think the food I got today was better than what I had last week. It's just the dishes I got today I enjoyed more than last week. I didn't ride any rides, but that's okay. I came here for the food, just like, oh, I forgot her name. Not the princess. Cinderella's stepsister. Anyway, gonna head home now. Gonna try and get to bed early because I guess tomorrow is a workout day, and unfortunately I have a lot to do. Very, very busy schedule because there's 3 food festivals to visit tomorrow. Can you believe that? Can't these people schedule this better? Because I don't know, it's kind of inconvenient, but that is why I'm thankful for my problems.